Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to the Games and Culture channel for part one of our 2024 review series.
Yeah, we're a little behind. We're a little behind. We have a lot coming though. We have a lot coming.
We're a lot behind. But we're doing Astro Bot. Chronologically released it. I mean, at this point, this is chronological order, so it did release first. So we are reviewing Astro Bot today. All around really good game. Obviously, it won Game of the Year. No secret there. No secret there. Won
Multiple Game of the Year awards.
multiple
Game Awards, Dice.
Yeah. So quite a winning game for a plucky little guy. So yeah, we'll just jump right into it. We're gonna look at the various parts of the game, kind of discuss them, and give it a score at the end. You know the drill here. It's been a while since we've done it, so felt the need to remind you. But just kind of giving a brief overview of the game. Astro Bot is a 3D platformer by Team Asobi and published by Sony. Obviously, you play as Astro Bot, trekking across the galaxy in search of his fellow bots and the pieces of your ship that were stolen by Bully Nebulax, which is this alien in a UFO. He has a name. I felt the need to write down the name. That's his character. He's Bully Nebulax. Astrobot, it's important to note, is a direct sequel to Astro's Playroom, which was the pack-in game for the PS5. So in that game, you're building your PS5 and you jetting off, and so this is the next part. You're in your PS5 and you all of its pieces and all your friends get abducted by an alien. And I mean, and that's the game.
Not much of a story here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You thought Mario had a bare bones plot.
It's pretty much as bare bones as it gets.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Astrobot's a 3D platformer. You're tasked with guiding Astrobot through 5 galaxies packed with a variety of levels. Each galaxy has a series of normal levels that end in a boss level. There's also some secret challenge levels based on the 4 symbols of the PlayStation controller. There's some secret combat trials where you're fighting, a couple enemies and kind of just like maybe they give you a power up, one of the power ups to use in the combat trial. And like I said, the boss levels.
Those symbol trials were. Whew.
Which ones?
Those symbol trials kicked my ass sometimes.
Yeah, those were really tough. I mean, so the game outside of those challenge levels is fairly easy.
Simple.
Which obviously it's a kid game. We're two 30-year-old adults, like obviously.
I get it.
Like, but the challenge levels were set up in a way that to really test your platforming and the use of the power-ups that were in the levels sometimes. So, and even some of those combat trials were really rough. I think of one pixel combat trial like in the later part of the game that I died so many times because it was like 5 of the blobs that shoot stuff at you, and then there was 2 of the flying ones that come down. And because the blobs just get like unnatural accuracy and are all firing at you at the same time, it got to be really frustrating. I think that was the level that I got hung up on the most, was that one. Each level has Astrobot's friends hidden away for the player to find, in addition to art pieces and even portals to a hidden galaxy of levels. And all of those are for like completion percentage and stuff like that. The art pieces lead to bonus stuff in your the hub. So one unlocks the costume gallery, one unlocks the capsule game from Astro's Playroom, and then your friends are the currency that holds you back from levels. Each level has anywhere between 4 and 7 of the bots. Most of them are just like normal bots, but there are tons of them that are themed off of classic and current PlayStation franchises.
Well, I care. It's not even PlayStation your own franchises.
Yes,
But third parties.
Just classic PlayStation associated franchises. So, for instance, there was a Joker from Persona 5, which was a PlayStation exclusive for a very long time. I believe Dante and Virgil were 2 of the bots as well.
You had Pyramid Head.
Cry, very associated with PlayStation. Pyramid Head from Silent Hill. very associated with PlayStation. Snake was from Metal
Yeah.
Gear was in there. Obviously,
Lara
again.
Croft was there.
Yep.
There was a lot. Just I mean, they also had some obscure shit too. There was Patapon, I think it was. They also had the Polygon Head, who was originally supposed to be the mascot for PlayStation, but they decided this looks weird, and they brought him back for PlayStation All Stars, and then threw him away again.
Yep. Bring him back for this, and then throw him away again. Yeah, there's definitely some obscure ones. None that I just didn't know. There was only very few that I didn't know from other things. So, but I'm a lifelong PlayStation fanboy, so I felt good and cozy. But I think it's important to note before we talk about the actual platforming of the game and the mechanics, since we're still talking about levels, each of the galaxies not only end with a big boss, but they end with you taking the role of one of PlayStation's most major franchises, and these levels were the highlight of the entire fucking game.
Oh yeah, let's not spoil it because I mean, there's these moments are
I
magical.
don't have any intentions of spoiling it here.
Yeah. But yeah, no, definitely. There was one in particular, the third one, I believe it was. Yes, it was the third one. That just made me so happy. Because my first PlayStation, the thing I'll drop a slight is my first PlayStation was a PS3.
Yeah.
So that was dedicated to a franchise from that era.
Yeah.
That was just so cool.
My favorite was 5. I think
Really?
Even though it's a more recent franchise for PlayStation, I think it had the most faithful recreation of the game's mechanics and just some really fun moments.
Yeah, no, I love that one too.
Yeah.
I just the melody, the remix melody they had, the main theme for the third one was just
for sure. But yeah, no, those levels, yeah. So you basically in the boss level, you free one of these major PlayStation mascots, and then they kind of urge you to the final level of the galaxy, and you become them. And they are basically Astro Bot spoofs some of these famous game franchises, and it's really cool. It's really cute. It's really fun. I hope that in a sequel, because obviously this game is going to get a sequel, I hope that we get some other franchises. So if I had to pick 5 more for the next game, it would be Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Because Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yep. Parappa the Rappa, I think would be
fucking
hilarious.
That would be hysterical.
Because there was the kind of joke one in this game with, I think it's the 4th one. So I think Parappa the Rappa would fill that same slot where it's really not that hard or anything. It's just kind of more fun and utilizing the mechanics. And then for my 5th one, Ghost of Tsushima, I think would be my 5th one.
Figure that were last.
I know that's 2 Sucker Punch, but I think.
Right? You also have 2 Insomniac in there, so.
Oh yeah, so then bets are off. But all 5 of those games have radically different game styles, which would be really cool for Astro Bot to spoof.
The only thing with the Spider-Man one, just because there is a Spider-Man bot in the game now, but considering a whole ass level, you would need to get Marvel involved. That would be.
But I think they would. I think that would be no issue.
I would hope so. That would be the biggest snag versus all the franchises they did in this game that were spoof everything Sony owns. There was no so there was no issues there. But
I think it'd be super cool for Astro Bot to swing through the city and fight one of the villains, but an Astro Botted villain, it'd be so cool.
I mean, that means I want to.
That would be the Spider-Man one, and then obviously Ratchet Clank, you'd have guns and explosions and stuff. Power Up the Rap would be a rhythm game. Ghost of Tsushima would be I think you do sword fighting for that one, because Sly Cooper would be the stealth one.
Yeah. But I want a Venom bot. I want a big old bot, but you see the eyes out of it instead of white eyes.
Villain that you fight. Yes.
I want it so bad. I need
so good.
I need his white eyes replaced with the Astro Bot eyes.
Yes.
Everything else of Venom, the teeth and everything, just the eyes.
Yeah, it'd be like a Funko Pop. It'd be like a Funko Pop. But yeah, no, the crossover levels, as I will call them, are the highlights. They're what you
Mhm.
play through the levels for. So much
I do
fun.
I do also to highlight. I won't go into details because I don't want to spoil it again. But the final level is such a.
Yeah, it's such a boner stroke for PlayStation.
Oh, it's Sony looking
It's
in a mirror, and stroking himself off
yeah,
so hard.
and loving every minute of it. Like they are getting off so hard to looking at themselves in the mirror for sure. And me as a lifelong Sony fan, I was just eating it, fucking up. Oh, that's that. Oh, there's that. Oh, that's that. Oh, that's that. Oh, that's that. Um, I will say though that level reminded me kind of how much modern gaming sucks because PS2, PS1, PS2, PS3. There's all of these accessories flying around too. And we get to PS4 and it's VR
The camera.
and the camera, and I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks.
This one wasn't as good.
Yeah, best like awesome franchises, worst accessories.
Are you? I think that you mentioned. I would probably say the PS5 has better accessories than the PS4 did.
100%, 100%. Because if they did like a PS5, you'd have the PS5, the Portal,
Yeah,
camera,
VR,
dual
VR
sense,
two.
and VR2.
Yeah, yeah, VR 2 is better. Than, yeah, oh, damn. Sorry, PS4. You don't think you got
Well,
you lost the accessory stick.
you were your generation that won the hardest, but it's kind of sucked the hardest too. And then talking about the actual boss levels, the 5 different bosses. These were okay. I think that's something hard to do in a game that's styled for kids is create a compelling boss fight. All these boss fights were fun. Don't
Yeah,
get me wrong, but like they weren't like
the weakest part of the game, I would say, I would agree with that. Is the
yeah.
weakest part is the
They're
boss
just
fight.
because they have to make them easy for kids to understand. Like there just wasn't any wow factor. They definitely tried to put in the wow factor. All of the bosses are much larger than Astro Bot, but like you know, I think there's something magical in like Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. Every boss feels like the final boss. I think there's
Yeah.
something magical in that. I don't, and that's just not something you can do with a game for kids. So it makes it really
No,
hard to like.
and it's maybe a little. Well, there's things they could do next time to help remedy it. This is a game that really doesn't have a plot.
Yeah,
Like Mario games, like yes, you're fighting Bowser game, but like even Mario Galaxy, like it felt like the end of the universe in the final fight against Bowser, Mario
yeah,
Galaxy.
yeah.
Um, versus Ashbot doesn't really have a. His villain's a weird space alien dude. We have no idea what his motivations are. He just seems to be an asshole.
Well, his motivation is he's bully. That's why his name is Bully.
Yeah, so
That's
he's an
that's his
asshole.
motivation.
Yeah, he's just his woman is I'm just a dick. But and then so the other things he's fighting are just like interesting, cool, I guess. I think a healthy way to do it was to kind of circle back to that idea of the Venom bot. Have the big bosses be based upon bosses of PlayStation history. So
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that. I think you should reverse the order, like or combine the crossover level with the boss level. And so the
yeah,
final boss of a galaxy is a boss from that major franchise. So
yeah,
looking at Spider-Man, it'd be this maybe even like a multi-part like Venom fight in Astro Bot.
yeah,
Yeah, because then you can have no story but still have like fun and compelling boss fights. You know,
yeah, yeah.
because all of these bosses, there were some that were even recycled from Astro's Playroom.
Hmm.
So, um, so just to tell you how kind of the boss fight is.
Yeah. Boss Jump the weekly of the game, I would
Yeah.
say, easily.
So let's talk about the actual gameplay. So the actual platforming. Uh, by all accounts, fine. Astrobot has the typical platforming moveset. He's got a solid jump. He doesn't move too fast, too slow. He's got a laser-powered glide that gives extra height, which is nice. Kind of
I mean,
acting as a glide and a double jump.
I don't know. I think the platform is probably some of the most immaculate platforming ever. Like, it's definitely up there with the Mario games, which is extremely high praise. That's what the Mario games are at their core.
I
So,
I would say
Uh,
it's a good standard. I wouldn't say it's immaculate because I think of
oh,
games like the original Jack and Daxter, where the platforming was good, but you had this kind of extended move set that made the platforming feel like super satisfying. There's no extended move set here. You have the a good solid jump, laser power glide that gives legs a little bit extra height, solid combos. It's I think it's this is like the best version of the standard platformer. Like this
yeah,
feels like Mario from Mario 64.
yeah. I see what you're saying, 'cause I think you're looking at the tool what the character has access to. Because I think more I look at for platforming is the platforming's immaculacy is a marriage of how the character feels when they move and just a level design. So if
Yeah.
those two together, and these two together in this case to me are immaculate.
Yeah. The
How
levels are definitely designed around Astro's move set. And that's good. I mean, I do wish there was some like added mechanics, like if there was some kind of like long jump or something like that, just to
yeah
add a little bit of flair to the people that want
yeah
kind of advanced move sets. You know, I think of like all the speedrunners like doing like stuff for Jack and Daxter 1 or Mario 64 of like long jumping into dives and like not I'm not saying it needs all of that,
no
but maybe
yeah
like some kind of long jump or something like that
yeah
would just help
they
add
could
to
do.
it.
I mean, they're definitely get a sequel for this game. I think they can add stuff like that. I mean, most of the time, really just the X and square button we use. Triangle and circle were kind of dead.
Yes.
So they could definitely do a bit more with those buttons and
Yeah.
skip. I can see that. But for being, their real first outing, I think they
Yeah.
got down pretty pat.
And the the simplicity in its moveset makes Astro Bot easy to control, and it's really mostly a frustration free experience when handling Astro Bot. So and like I said, like I said at the top of the video, the challenge levels really do put your mastery of the moveset to the test. I just think we had a couple more buttons worth of moves, and those challenge levels can get really fun and hectic. So for the people that want it, but that's not all Astro can do. He's got a series of power ups that he can access in certain levels that give him a variety of tools to get around or to fight stuff. Um, all of
No,
them are
no,
pretty.
not pretty good. Not all of them are created equal. There are
No,
some better than others.
no.
Uh, but
Let's go through them real quickly here. Octo Balloon allows Astrobot to float into the air. This is one of the ones I
right.
think is a little bit on the weaker side. It's just
Yeah, it's some of the weakest stuff, but it's not bad.
it's not bad. It's not bad. I kind of just wish there was more to it, like maybe some kind of like dive move or like
Yeah.
you know, twin frog gloves turns Astrobot into a boxing champ while letting him also swing on sticky jelly by punching into it.
Yeah, that was one of the
Uh,
better ones. I like that one.
I wish that it was a little bit more responsive when you're like rapidly punching stuff.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you're rapidly doing L2 R2, some of your punches get missed, and so it leaves you open a little bit. But that's just fine tuning thing. Barkster is a back mounted rocket dog that propels Astrobot further.
That was good. That was good. Again, very kind of one note of what it was
Yeah,
good, its purpose, but it was pretty good. I like that one.
yeah. You
Because
get to like
the trick with that one, I think, was more again designing the levels around it, and the levels that were designed around it were really good.
yeah. Monkey Climber allows Astrobot to scale walls and throw objects. I think this one's underused. I
I
really
think
like
this was
this
the
one.
worst. I think this one's the worst one.
Oh, really? I
I
like this one.
it's just the controls. I think
They're a little clunky. I can
yeah.
definitely say that. But in terms of like combat, like throwing stuff, it's really fun. I wish they would have used it a little bit more.
As for throwing the stuff, that's fine. It's just when you're climbing the stuff with them, uh, maybe it's a different one, but the climbing
Yeah,
sections were like this game has great controls except for the monkey sections when you're climbing stuff. Then the
I
controls just go
I didn't find it
wonky.
so bad. It just really you got to keep doing this over and over and over.
There was one of the challenge levels that used it, or just me where it was
You're talking
god
about the pirate
awful.
boss,
I don't remember. I don't
the
think it was
second
Pirate Boss.
pirate boss. You have to blow his legs off and then climb up his legs to get to his head.
No, I think that was still kind of but there was another like actual like challenge level. I think it was maybe it was one of the DLC Speed 1 levels. I don't know. That was just like really bad
Yeah.
because of the monkey stuff, and it was just like these controls are clunky. So like the game has great controls everywhere else. It's just the clunkiness of climbing with the monkey power up was not very well done.
So I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that you have to use motion controls.
That's my guess. I think you can turn the motion controls off, but then I think I did do that for one of those challenges, and it made it work somewhat better, but it was still a little clunky.
Yeah. Micro mouse shrinker lets Astrobot
That
shrink to the size of the mouse.
best one, best one in the game. I wish I
That's
used it
the
more.
best one.
I think it's the best one because I think again,
It's
I
fun.
think
I don't think it's the best one.
basically one. They only use it like once in the main game, and there's a DLC. I think it's Christmas level. They use it again. Um, I think again, this comes down to the level being designed around the power up. And again, this is where I think the game excels at everything is its level design. Um, and in the main game, it's only used the once. So, but the level used it to was brilliant. It felt great. It was so inventive, and how things just shrunk and everything got bigger. This perspective change of how the level operated on that, I think it was just insane. I wish there were more levels in the game that use that power up.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't say it's the best one. It's definitely a fun one. Definitely a fun one. I won't say it's the best one.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it because it's just so if it was used more, I just really enjoyed it. But
Yeah, no,
I
it's
do,
fun.
I do think
It's
it's
one of
best
the
thing with
top
it.
tier ones for sure.
Yeah,
Elephant Hose Nose allows Astrobot to suck stuff up to turn into platforms, as well as like latch onto stuff to like blow up and explode. This one's okay.
it's an interesting one. Yeah, it was okay.
Sometimes the platforms were a little clunky, but
Yeah, a little bit. Not as bad as the monkey was, but it was.
yeah.
I didn't have too much issue with that one.
Slow-mo vision lets Astrobot slow down time to
If
use
it was
slow down power like panels to jump on stuff like that.
if I didn't say the mouse one was the best one, it would have been this one. It was the
Yeah,
best
this
one.
one's one of my favorites. It's still not my favorite, but this one is my second favorite. I thought
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what.
of the casino level, and I'm just like
Yeah.
of like stopping all of the chips and stuff like that. So good.
Well, I also love it because I mean, all there's different products. The mouse one, like he gets a little, mouse ears where he does it, stuff like that. But the slow time power up is just a PlayStation VR, and when he puts it, on, toward his eyes, that's when time stops.
Yep.
So a little nifty, kind of winking a nod to PlayStation history right there. So
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite one as well.
SpongeBot turns Astrobot into a sponge and allows him to suck up water to turn
Oh,
giant and does more damage. This one's my favorite one. This one's
really?
so much fun. Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's probably my third, maybe fourth, but probably third. If I was forgetting one, but I liked it a lot too. Yeah, but it's a good one. It is one of the goofier ones to me because it just
Yeah,
looks
it's
so goofy.
It's so goofy. And then the chicken booster is a lot like Barkster, except it goes straight up into the air. So
Yeah,
I think in order to tighten it up a little bit, I think you combine chicken booster and Barkster since they do essentially the same thing.
the same thing. Yeah.
And maybe even combine the Octobloon with the elephant hose in some kind of
Yeah.
way, where like
Yeah,
maybe
combine the
you
two.
expel the liquid to fly.
Yeah.
I just like you said, a lot of these power ups are one note, and they all do serve their purpose. I don't think there's any like inherently bad ideas here.
No,
Which is
I
good.
think the biggest success of the game is the levels are masterfully designed around these power ups.
Yes.
And that's where the game excels tremendously is its level design. It's one of the top dogs in that respect.
Yeah, talking about the level design, they take a lot of notes from Mario here, where no two levels feel the same. Even the ones
No.
where you're using similar powers, usually they have different themes mixed up a little bit, or if they do stick with the same theme, it's in a variety of different ways using different power ups. Some of the levels are a little bit more open ended than others. Some of them are straight shot. I think of the Egypt level. Has that big open first area that you can explore and look around and stuff, and then it turns into kind of more of a linear experience. So lots of ideas at work. No two levels are repeated. So I think my only complaint in terms of just levels is I wish there were, even if they're not crossover levels, I wish there were levels that called back to PlayStation franchises.
Yeah, it would have been like more like PlayStation focused power. Like, I mean, you brought up, an idea for crossover lower using the Ratchet and Clank gun, but the Ratchet and Clank gun could just been a normal power up in the game,
Yeah.
and then more stuff like that. Um, I think it's probably one of the bigger issues. Not a big issue. This game really doesn't have any big issues
No,
whatsoever.
no.
Um, so one of the more splitting hair issues is I do think like the mouse power was only used once in the main game. The crossover levels are only used once, so you don't get those abilities again. And I just feel like there's a lot of great ideas that only get used once.
Yeah.
I would like more opportunity with these ideas because again, the fact that my biggest complaint is I want more of what you gave me. That's a pretty good complaint to have.
Yeah, and like I said, now that we're kind of entering this age where Astrobot is becoming the mascot to PlayStation, I would like to see just more PlayStation references. I mean, even if you don't give me a crossover level for it, like if they did one that's Shadow Moses from Metal Gear Solid 1, and that's the only Metal Gear reference is that it's just Shadow Moses, just as a fun callback, like that's the level.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I assumed I thought the level was gonna be like that before the game came out, but they weren't because there was like they showed like a screenshot of like Astrobot wearing the Bloodborne costume, and then like, the background was like this creepy castle. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna do a Bloodborne level, and it was not a Bloodborne. It was just a normal creepy,
Yep.
scary castle
He was
thing.
just
So I'm
wearing a
like,
costume.
yeah. So I do wish like that. I mean, if there was a Bloodborne level, I mean, dear God, the Bloodborne people would have lost their fucking minds.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, and I don't want every level. I still want original levels, but it'd be cool just to
Yeah.
have like maybe like call them flashback levels or something like that,
Ooh.
where it puts you in an environment from a PlayStation game, and you're just it's just a normal Astrobot level, but it's themed after the franchise. Like I think a cool one would be like Shadow Moses from Metal Gear Solid 1. Dracula's Castle from Symphony of the Night I think would be a cool level like that, because I don't want to play as Alucard, because there's like, especially if we're doing Ghost of Tsushima, because I think first party stuff should be the
Like the focus.
the crossover levels, but that's these flashback levels I'm calling them. They could be third party ones that have representation in Sony, like Castlevania level, or a Metal Gear level, or a
The police station from RE2.
yeah, those kind of things that just themed levels for that are just fun callbacks to PlayStation's glory of references and back catalog and stuff like that. I think would be pretty cool to see in a sequel. Just because aside from the crossover levels, and the uh, PlayStation stuff, I mean, you could take these levels and put them into any platformer and get away with it, because there's nothing inherently PlayStation about them.
Yeah. Um, I don't see that. Shit, I had an idea and I lost it. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, we could do more with that. I mean, there are even some bots I felt like were missing. Like, there's no Final Fantasy. Granted, they don't own Final Fantasy,
Yeah,
but there was no Final Fantasy bots. It's like,
yeah. When
how?
Cloud essentially made the PS1 a success.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna fault them too heavily for that, just because like if Square says no, well, you
Square
ain't
says
shit you can
no.
do about that. Yeah, but why would you say no to that Square? Like, bruh.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean,
Especially when
they
Final Fantasy Rebirth at the time was a PlayStation exclusive.
I
Like,
mean, I'm sure there would have been grown men crying tears of joy if a Sora bot showed up.
yeah, but I mean, yes, you're right. Like, there were lots of boss missions from core, what I would deem PlayStation franchises. Final Fantasy VII is a PlayStation game. Kingdom Hearts is a PlayStation franchise, even though it is multi-platform. Like,
Especially with that brand.
yeah, it's associated with that brand. So I mean, I assume it's just Square Enix not wanting to give up the license, which is weird because, again, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was a exclusive to PlayStation at the time. It's still a console exclusive to PlayStation. So
I mean, I'm going to assume Part 3 is going to be a PlayStation exclusive as well. I'm sure Sony got the contract rights for that one
yeah,
at least.
yeah.
I mean, I
Why
don't think
didn't you do
I don't.
Why didn't you do a Clive one? Like,
Yeah, well, yeah. It's weird. That is the biggest one, but since it's a third party, I'm gonna put the Elmore. And there's just they're a third party, and other third parties that agree. I'm gonna say the onus is on Square on this one, not Sony.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
but it's still very strange.
Sora would probably still be hard to do no matter what because Disney, but like for Cloud and Sephiroth and Clive specifically, which would be like the three ones that I would pick out for it, because as much as I
Yeah,
love Zidane, he's not going to make the cut. And if you're choosing between Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 8, you choose Final Fantasy 7. So Cloud, Sephiroth, and then Clive, because Final Fantasy 16 was a console exclusive to PS5. Like, but what do I know? And it's also kind of weird. Spider-Man and Miles didn't make the cut
yeah,
in the base game. They were DLC.
true. But it didn't take that long to get into the game.
No.
But also, I mean, but also just because we wrapped so I mean, because Disney, but Marvel is Disney, so Spider there. So really, we're just back to Square being weird again. Because I'm pretty sure Disney would
Well,
have like,
I
okay,
wonder
here's
if
Square.
there's. I wonder because this is Insomniac's Spider-Man. I
True.
wonder if there's not as much
The-
red tape around Sony using it.
It's possible, but still, I mean, Sora got into Smash, so if our reports are with that, that wasn't really a Disney hang up. It was a Tetsuya Nomura hang up. We're getting Sora in there.
Yeah.
So maybe Disney is not as hard to deal with as we would assume. So I don't know.
Maybe just not with Sora.
Yeah.
We got a video game character? What the fuck?
Yeah. Tetsuya Nomura. I mean, sidebar. Tetsuya Nomura apparently the hang up was that he wanted to somehow tie Sora going to Smash into Kingdom Lore's canon, and it's like, no, stop that.
I hate this man. I legitimately hate this man. Why does his brain work the way it does? God.
And yet you'll be there every time he puts out a game.
I mean, yeah, but fucking still doesn't mean I have to like the man. But yeah, so I mean, as you can tell from our review, Astro Bot's a fantastic game. It's a fantastic game. It's one of those games too, doesn't overstay its welcome. Solid 11 hours in and out. Have a great time. Which I truly appreciate in this game, in this world of games where everything has to be 100 hours at least.
I love you, Metaphor and Dragon Age Veilguard, but dear
dude.
God, those games
Fuck,
were
dude.
long.
Actually, I won't say Metaphor. I don't think Metaphor overstayed its welcome. I think Metaphor was pretty good. Dragon Age definitely overstayed its welcome. A couple times I was like, oh my fucking God. But yeah, definitely concise, fun experience. I think $70 might be a little high for it, just because.
I thought it was 60.
Oh, it
Pretty sure it was 60. Pretty sure it was 60.
Oh, well, 60 might still be a little high for it.
Yeah, it's fine. Since it's their discount, it's not long. I'm cool with a $60 price tag for it.
Hope it comes to PC.
Don't actually. I mean, I'm cool. I'm cool with like Spider-Man's on PC now. I'm cool with I'm cool with Sony's strategy of making things wait a year or two. I don't say I hope it doesn't for. I say I hope it doesn't for Astro Bot specifically because it's just gonna be weird in that final section where Sony's jacking themselves off and it's like, well,
that's true. That's true. I think that I think that the game's really, really good looking, and I think that like a powerhouse PC could really
yeah. I mean, I'm sure it would do well on PC. It's just again, so the inside is literally Sony jacking themselves off. And the whole point of the game is you're rebuilding a PS5.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's kind of like, well, I'll put it on a PC now.
And I do hope that Sony does start to get a little selective of the things that come to PC. I don't think
yeah.
needs to come to
And
PC.
also now that I think about it, there is a slight problem, which may be the thing what stops Bot from going. I just put in my head. So you can play Spider-Man 2 with an Xbox controller on PC if you want to. It doesn't force you to use the DualSense.
Yeah.
The Astro Bot has so many DualSense specific features in it.
Yes, it does.
So
it is the DualSense game, really.
Yeah. So you can't really enforce that on a PC where you can on a PS5.
That's true.
So might be the snag that stops it really from going. So just that maybe let the mascot game be on the mascot system is supposed to be on.
No, but if Astro Bot goes, Mario surely will go, right? That's how gaming works, right? Right? No, no.
I think I think you
Mario's
forgot how
never
to
coming to PC, guys. Legend of Zelda never coming to PC. Get over it. But yeah, so game's really good. There's no need for a spoiler section because there ain't no story. So game's really good. Go buy it.
unless you want to get spoiled about somebody jacking themselves off. But I mean,
I mean we did spoil it by saying that. Honestly, like that's it. That's what the last level is. That's what it be. That's how it do. Like, if you're uncomfortable with a company jacking themselves off, this game is not for you.
no.
Because there's a lot of it.
This is 11 hours of Sony going, yeah, PlayStation, yeah. You remember that?
We're the greatest of all time. Not Nintendo doesn't even do this shit. Like this is a Sony exclusive shit of jacking themselves off. But Nick, what are you giving Astro Bot out of 10?
I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10.
Hey, I'm also giving it a 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, would have been a 10, but Spider-Man was DLC, so I had to knock it down to 9.5. That's literally my reasoning. Is I'm knocking it down to 9.5 because of the DLC.
Because of Spider-Man.
No. And not only that, Spider-Man is the last bot you find. You find Miles, and then the final present shows up, and it's fucking Peter. He's the last damn bot.
They saved the best for last.
Yeah, I'd rather find him in the fucking story so he can be there when we're all jacking each other off at the end.
I mean, fair. I do love how, because like when you go back to your main hub where all the bots are like doing different stuff, I love how Peter and Miles, their position, they're the only ones there, the only one who are on top of the PS5, and they're just sitting there. That's brilliant.
Yes, it's real nice. It's real nice. It's real nice. I like that part a lot.
My reason, which is a bit more within the game itself,
actual journalism.
I wanted more. I wanted more of certain power ups. The clunkiness of the monkey power up was like, so that's what really gonna hold me back. And the boss is being kind of, basically holding me back from a full 10. But I mean, it's the strongest 9.5 I can give.
Yeah, it's a solid game all around. It's a fun game. I think that's the most important thing when looking at these games that don't really have stories. Is it fun? It's so fun. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely fun. I basically binged that game over like 2 days because it was so.
Honestly, now I was talking about, kind of want to replay it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's so good.
I think this is.
I almost 100%ed it. I almost 100% of it just in my base run. So.
Actually, I think some levels came out. New levels came out for Astro Bot after the last state of play. I haven't played those yet, so maybe I will play Astro Bot today.
Well, there you go. But so it's a solid 9.5 from us here at the Games and Culture channel. Go out and buy it on your PlayStation 5. This review is super late. The game came out in September.
But hey, you know what? It's here. It won Game of the Year twice. Yep. So it's got 9.5 from us.
It's our only Game of the Year game that we reviewed after it already won Game of the Year.
Point is, if you want Sony to make more of these type of games, buy it.
Yeah, go buy it. It's a fun one.
Send a signal. I want more of these, Sony. Because they actually are listening. Yeah. Because they said in our last thing, hey, I'll do this as a game. We're looking to more family-friendly games. So, but y'all know what my mouth is.
Yep. So go out and buy it. Next review will probably be Metaphor if we're going in chronological order. So that one's going to be a long one.
Yeah, it's going to be a super long one.
It's going to be a long
one.
So,
we'll probably have our Game of the Year out before that.
Yes, more than likely. So keep eyes on the channel for that. Subscribe so that YouTube does the work for you. Let you know when our next video is out. It really helps out the channel as well when you do so. Like the video, share it with a friend who's maybe on the fence about getting some Astro Bot. And until then, we'll see you in the next video.
Adios.